on the next episode of Sips, Suds, and Smokes.
Today is a wine show, and actually today is a sparkling wine show, so hooray.
Hooray.
Yeah, it's...
You have something French?
I am very aroused.
Here are the wines we're going to be discussing today. From Scharffenberger, we have the Scharffenberger Rosé, the Scharffenberger Brut Excellence, the Scharffenberger Blanc de Blanc. We have the Perrier Jouet Blanc de Blanc, the Perrier Jouet Grand Brut, the Perrier Jouet...
The who?
The Perrier Jouet.
Perrier Jouet.
Yeah.
You flirted on the second one. You didn't drink that much champagne.
The Grand Brut, the Perrier Jouet Blason Rosé. And from Lanson, we have the Lanson Le Green Bio Organic and the Lanson Le Vintage 2012.
We'll be right back after this break. Brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. And now it's sippin' time.
Hey, yes, it's sipping time again, and welcome to this Sips episode where everything good in life is worth discussing. As always, we are the best thing on at 2 a.m. Nobody's going to challenge that?
No,
I'm not going to challenge.
At 2 a.m. last night, I was on Apple TV starting Severance Season 2.
2 a.m. I was watching Monty Python's Holy Grail. So
I have that on DVD somewhere, but I don't know where my DVD player is.
I have the entire Monty Python.
So do I.
Everything on a DVD kit. Like
I've got
all
the
the
whole
episodes, all the movies, everything. It's
I
the
literally haven't
greatest
seen
ever.
my DVD player in years. I don't even know where I put it. Of course we would, dude.
I was watching Wall Street Week, but I cut off the end because I didn't want to know how it turned out.
You're broke. Never mind. That's how it ends. Well, this is Made Man Bob, and joining me today are Made Man Justin.
Oh, good
Good
morning,
old boy
Bob.
Justin. Whatever. Yeah. Made Man Maury.
Pleasure to be here.
Good morning, Bob. Very bubbling with excitement to be here today.
And what's his name? Harmeet.
What's his name? I've got good old boy on my
Good
shirt.
old boy, Made Man, whatever the hell you are.
I'm the only one wearing the official shirt for the show today.
What's the anchor for? What do you like? You
Oh, this
trying
is-
to pick up sailors?
I
or?
went to the
Hi, sailor.
Rum Congress a couple weeks ago. And
how was it?
The black tot pin. It's getting smaller, but the quality's still great. There's some wonderful producers at Rum Congress.
Cool.
I was going to make a video about it, but I just got so busy.
There's so many good rums that most Americans will never see. That's the sad thing.
Oh, I'm carrying a lot of the rum at my store now because people like Florida Rum Society are really pushing it in Florida.
Really?
Yeah. I've got all those, wonderful, like funky stuff coming out of Jamaica and Barbados, and let me not talk about the store. But anyway, the rum selection is starting to rival the bourbons.
Well, I would argue that you can interchange the two, especially in a cocktail. A lot of people are making rum-based old fashions.
Yes.
And since we know that all of the color comes from the barrel, and a very large percentage, we can debate about that of the flavor, you can see where a barrel-aged spirit, regardless of what the substrate is, be it rum or be it whiskey, mash, they start to approach similar notes when you're sipping.
As you age them longer.
Yeah. And so I find people who love brown spirits, they can drink almost any brown spirit as they age.
But the problem is, in this country, we had such bad rum.
Well, you know what Homer says.
If it's brown, drink it down.
Although, we've gone off on a tangent. Today's not about brown.
So today is a wine show, and actually today is a sparkling wine show. So, hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, it's.
You have something French?
I am very aroused.
Well, Jean-Luc Picard is ostensibly French, but he's a British man. Come on. Where's the French sound effects?
Chateau Picard. Come on. Yeah.
I know.
Well, today we're going to be drinking sparkling wine, so I am damn excited. So here are the wines we're going to be discussing today. From Scharffenberger, we have the Scharffenberger Rosé, the Scharffenberger Brut Excellence, the Scharffenberger Blanc de Blanc. We have the Perrier Jouet Blanc de Blanc, the Perrier Jouet Grand Brut, the Perrier Jouet.
The who?
The Perrier Jouet.
Perrier Jouet.
Yeah.
You flirted on the second one. You didn't drink that much champagne.
And the Perrier, the Grand Brut, the Perrier Jouet Blason Rosé. And from Lanson, we have the Lanson Le Green Bio-Organic and the Lanson Le Vintage 2012.
I am very aroused.
Very happy today. So we're going to go to our sips ratings. And we're going to have our...
Why?
Yeah, I know. We're going to have our... okay, fine. Justin, just do it.
All right. Well, today I'm in California state of mind. I'm your ex-president, Bill Clinton.
That has something to do with California, apparently.
He's from Arkansas, dude.
Yep.
Your minor detail.
All right. One sip. Give me a glass of water to wash out my mouth.
Water. Bring water. Bring water.
That's what she said.
2 sips. Nice, but what else do you have, Hillary?
Well, isn't that nice?
3 sips. That's interesting, but what was this again?
Interesting.
Monica?
You can't tell we're all laughing on the inside.
Monica Lewinsky. Yeah.
4 sips. Let's keep this secret to ourselves and pour me another.
That's classified.
That was definitely what he told Monica Lewinsky. Let's keep this secret to ourselves, yeah.
5 sips. Oh my, I was unaware anything could be this good. It's like McDonald's. My God.
Oh my goodness!
The good old days.
Yeah, Slick Willie. What are you going to do? Okay, so. Man, what are we at? 6 minutes already in the toilet. Way to go. So we're going to have Maury tell us about our first wines.
Thank you, Bob. The history of Scharffenberger cellars begins in 1981 in the heart of Mendocino's Anderson Valley. Situated only miles from the coastal influences of the Pacific Ocean, Scharffenberger Cellars also enjoys the deep soils and sunshine within the protected valley. Originally founded by John Scharffenberger, the winery entered a new chapter as a member of the Roederer Collection in 2004. The winery's commitment to preserving and nourishing the land runs deep and has been a guiding principle since the early days. In 1992, Scharffenberger Cellars granted 63 acres to the Anderson Valley Land Trust. Today, the entirety of their 120-acre estate is sustainably farmed and fish-friendly farming certified. All of Scharffenberger's wines are made in the 2-step method traditionnel process, where the wines are individually bottle fermented before being riddled and disgorged.
You almost said method champenoise.
It's really the same, is it
It's the same
not?
thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why they changed the tradition.
I wanted to say method champenois, and I was startled. So yes, it's method champenois or method traditionnel. I believe they are synonymous. Approximately 80% of their wines undergo malolactic fermentation, and it is a signature of the Scharffenberger style and contributes to the wine's rich, creamy texture. Every bottle ages a minimum of 24 months on the lees, and after disgorgement is aged on the cork for 6 months. The first selection today is the Scharffenberger Rosé. It is a non-vintage, coming in at 12.5% ABV from Mendocino County. It is 55% Chardonnay, 45% Pinot Noir. The fruit balance and color are achieved by adding between 4 and 5% of Pinot Noir wine to the blend before undergoing second fermentation in the bottle. This wine is a very, very pale rosé color. It's crystal clear. It's got very nice, fine, beautiful bubbles. On the nose, lots of fresh raspberry jam, wild strawberries, and a hint of cream-covered pastry. On the palate, the flavors are layered. There's fruit. There's definitely pastry. There's a bit of yeast. Harm, don't you think? It's just lovely.
Yeah,
I find that it's luscious. It's mouth coating. I do agree with the creaminess. Now, a lot of times we think mallow will give that buttery flavor. Here, it just really gives more of a creaminess, a mouth texture that's really quite pleasant. This wine has improved considerably in the glass. When I first poured it, it was perhaps a little
blistering cold. Yeah.
Thank you. It was extremely cold. So number one, please don't drink your champagne blisteringly cold. It should be drunk just below room temperature. And secondly, the air, both
Florida
warming,
room temperature or France room temperature?
Florida room temperature.
No, I mean,
Antarctica room temperature.
And I really find that the air and the combination of warming up has done it well. Again, beautifully long finish. This wine is delicious. It's very well made, and I enjoyed it very much. What did you think, Justin?
So on the nose, I got rose petals, lemon, and like creme. On the palate, it was fruity and refreshing. And the finish was like bready and lightly chalky. But as it warmed up, the chalkiness kind of went away. What do you think, Bob?
Just so everybody knows, we do, whenever we have, especially a sparkling wine or white wine, we always started out with it cold. Probably colder than it needs to be.
well, but most people drink their champagne cold.
Because so many people do, exactly. So we're trying to, I mean, is it proper? I don't think so. But so many people do drink it blistering cold. So we start out with that, and it takes a couple hours to do a 52-minute show. So we let it sit, and we let it warm up, and we let it change, and we let it evolve. And it's a different wine than when it was when we first opened it.
And I think patience, again, we extol this virtue on a regular basis, but patience will reward you.
Yeah, drink a glass over an hour, you'll get a lot more out of it.
It's absolutely delicious. There's some lovely fresh berries on it. A little bit of a citrus, almost Myers lemon on the back palate.
I'm getting orange peel.
It's got a nice roundness to it. It's got a good mouth coat. That mallow really seems to round it out. I think it's excellent. I was stunned how good it was.
I must admit, I never really used the word mallow or malolactic fermentation and champagne in the same sentence before. But in this case, it doesn't give the buttery note that you might expect like in a Chardonnay. It gives that rounded, beautiful viscosity and creamy mouthfeel.
Well, the acidity of champagne is so much higher.
Yeah.
But this the thing. I mean, I think everything you guys have said is right. It's gotten much better.
Shocking.
I'm getting the raspberry jam and the strawberry, but I'm getting more orange peel rather than lemon. And again, the roundness and the fruit, it's so well balanced. The acid bounces all that mallow out. And it's got a medium long finish, which nobody said. I think we need to raise the score up. I think right from our original notes.
Yeah, I mean
it's and there's a hint of spice coming out.
Yeah, I mean
and you said
it was
rose
great in the
petal?
glass.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back. Hey, and we're back, and we were just finishing up discussing the Scharffenberger Rosé Non-Vintage. Anybody else have anything else to say before I throw a rating on this?
The quality of this wine has gone up over the years so much. I used to not enjoy Scharffenberger. It looks like when Roederer bought it, they really improved the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved Roederer Estate. Roederer Estate champagnes taste just as good as the French stuff. I mean, sorry, Roederer Estate sparkling wine from California, Anderson Valley, tastes just as good as the French stuff for half the price.
Yeah.
This is a little bit less.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's amazing.
It's a lot less. Yeah. It's
I think that this is a huge value for a high quality rosé sparkling. I don't think you can find one for less money that tastes any better.
No.
I don't think you can find one for more money that's as
There's
good.
Cremant coming out of Alsace, but it's not going to be the same grapes. It won't be the champagne grapes. They'll be using different things like what am I thinking? They'll be using Riesling and they'll be using Fall Blanche and weird stuff like that.
Well, during the commercial, we were all talking about how we need to buy a few cases of some of the Scharffenberger. So we're going to be giving the Scharffenberger Rosé a well-deserved 4 sips.
That's classified.
Bob, would you like to tell us about the next Scharffenberger
So
wine?
that takes us off to our next one, which is the Scharffenberger Brut Excellence. So it's non-vintage, 12.5% ABV. Mendocino County. It's a 60% Chardonnay, 40% Pinot Noir. Has a dosage of 8.5 grams per liter. On the nose, I get a toasted oak. I get apples and pears.
Harm, you have the bottle?
And I get white flowers. And then on the palate, hold on. This is the one we were discussing it before we actually started recording, how it's not sweet. It's just...
It smells sweet to me. But
it's sweeter than I was expecting as a Brut, both on the nose, on the palate. Just a slight edge, but, it's more American in taste, I think. There's a brioche in here. There's like a lemon curd and a citrus note to it. Really well done. What'd you think, Harm?
It's a beautiful golden color. When I first approached it when it was really cold, I got like toasty oak, toasted bread, and sweet candied nuts like candied pecans. But that's gone now. Now it's settled down. We've got that brioche note, that like toasted brioche. The candied nuts are gone, but there's still like an almond thing going on here. A balanced acidity, a little bit of citrus on the nose as well. On the palate, balanced acidity. You said lemon curd. I think that's a good call. I was thinking lemon peel, but you're right. It's lemon curd. Golden apples and toast.
Creamy, lemony, curdy. Yeah.
Yeah, but as it's warmed up, it's gotten more creamy. Yeah. When it was colder,
it was sharp, edgy. Yeah.
Medium short finish. That's the only thing I have to say against it.
Yeah, Maury? I mean, honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you said, Harm. I think it's very nicely done. I enjoyed it. I found this is more of a kind of an all-day sipper for me. This is just something you can just sit and relax and enjoy by the poolside. It's bright. It's refreshing. I liked it quite a lot. Justin?
So I thought the color was like a pretty light yellow. It was zesty, lemony, tangerine, new car smell, and soapy on the nose. But
I didn't get that soapy note you're talking about.
It evaporated over time. But when I first opened it up, I got that. On the palate, it was very refreshing. I got bright green apple. On the finish, it started off with that green apple again and ended in some nice effervescence. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, did I say green? I said apple, but I think you're right. It's green apple. Maury?
Yeah, as I said, I agree with you. I think it's a little more green than red apple. Beautifully done.
All right. Well, we're going to be giving the Scharffenberger Brut Excellence a well-deserved 3 sips.
This would be a great mimosa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because people use Prosecco. I find Prosecco is way too sweet.
100%.
If you use champagne to make a mimosa, Brut champagne, it's so much better. I think I would use this.
It may be sugar with the orange juice to say this, but I think a Bellini.
You know what? That is sacrilege. Completely. Bellini is the peach nectar. The Harry's bar from Venice. Then that's always been Prosecco.
I think this would go with a Bellini, though.
Okay. I think there's other things. I've got customers who walk in and buy Dom Perignon for their mimosas. I just
nice.
I mean, I can't really relate, but I'm happy to sell it to them.
Yeah,
but I would use this.
Damn right. Happy to take dummies' money. So, all right, let's go on to our next wine. We're gonna have Justin tell us about that.
So now we get to talk about Scharffenberger Blanc de Blanc. It's non-vintage, 12.5% alcohol by volume. It's from Mendocino County, California. It's 100% Chardonnay. The color for me was like a cream light yellow. The nose was a little fishy, more cream, and torte pastry.
Did you wash your hands before you came in here?
Yeah. And on the palate, I got like
I'm not making the dirty joke.
I'm not either. I'm not going there. No, not going anywhere near that one.
On palate, I got lemon frosty and toasted bread points. The finish was like a lemony effervescence. What did you think, Harm?
You're not off. I think the fish note is weird to me. I got yeasty, bready notes. Maybe when it was cold, it was smelling a little bit fishy to you. I have no idea. It didn't do that to me. I got golden apple again, orange peel and lemon peel. Maybe now as it's warmed up, it's got some good spice coming out. The palate's just like the nose, a little more minerally. I got some floral notes, maybe lilac. I'm not sure. There's more floral notes on the palate, which is kind of weird. It's not on the nose. There's a minerally salinity to it, just a tint. Medium long finish, and that salinity comes back on the finish now that it's warmed up.
And what do the fish swim in?
Apparently champagne. Yeah.
Yes, if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Well, this is more limestone than salt, but go ahead. Maury, what do you think?
I like this one. I think this is a bit of a step up. I think for a lot of people, if they're not aware, Blanc de Blanc is typically a little bit of a step up. These are 100% Chardonnay. Blanc de Blanc referring to the fact that it's a white champagne made exclusively from white grapes. As you notice with the one above, there was 40% Pinot Noir, which is a red grape. And that is a whole nother story. But in any event, I think this wine has a level of sophistication that I really like. It's got a little bit more yeastiness, a little more brioche and bread notes to it, which I personally like. To me, this is more of an evening sipper, something I like to wind down with, either as an aperitif or an after dinner with some cheese. I find the other one more bright and refreshing for during the day, but this is my kind of go-to to just sit down.
The
and
minerality
enjoy.
here, now that it's warmed up, I want oysters.
Yeah.
I'd pair this with oysters any day. Make a champagne-based mignonette with this champagne drink or this sparkling wine.
I agree, but the minerality is to me is the back end to the upfront yeastiness, and then the minerality just sort of carries through the mid palate.
But as it's warmed up, it's become more pronounced.
I agree.
Well, the minerality and the salinity come through, and if you handed this to me and told me this came from France, I would 100% believe you.
Yeah. The quality here is, I used to not love Scharffenberger. Roeder Estate was my go-to American sparkling wine because, Roeder makes Cristal. They know how to make champagne. And their American stuff was always as good as the French stuff and cheaper. And now they've really elevated Scharffenberger.
Well, let me tell you a story. I did a blind tasting, and I called it Big Brother, Little Brother for a wine group a few years back, and we looked at the French versus the California version. And the winner of the night, it was done blindly, was the Roeder Anderson Valley Champagne was the wine of the night. It beat out Cristal. It beat out Dom.
No.
I poured them blindly.
It's good, but it's not that good.
I'm telling you, I poured them blindly. This is going back about 8 years ago, and we did Cristal and Anderson. We did, you name it, we've done them. And on that particular night.
And just in case the people from Roeder Estate are listening, because they own Scharffenberger as well, we'd love to do Roeder Estate on the show. Just saying.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Those wines have gotten more expensive.
My point is that the folks in Champagne have really translated their knowledge and experience to California properties, and you can get French quality champagne out of California.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can now. You didn't used to be able to, but you can now.
But I thought the Blanc de Blanc was excellent. I generally do love Blanc de Blanc champagnes. They're just so sophisticated and
we
interesting.
keep saying champagne, but we mean sparkling wine here.
Well,
pinkies up, folks.
Pinkies up.
Yeah. So well done. The minerality, the chalkiness, the salinity to it. Again, if you told me, this came from Rem, I would go, yeah, of course it does. It's so well done, so well put together. The lemon curd is there, the brioche is there, the minerality is there, that salinity is there. It's got a lovely roundness to the palate. This is absolutely delicious. Yeah, I'm again, Scharffenberger. I'm stunned. Really, honestly. Guys, you should be buying Scharffenberger. This is for the money. You're not going to get a better sparkling wine out of California for damn sure.
I would agree. The last couple times I've had sort of, pick it up and go California sparkling, they've been good, but not blow your socks off. But this is a step up from what most people are buying.
Like we've been discussing, 20 years ago, sparkling wines in California, They were working. They were trying. They were doing everything they could.
I think the rotor was always a step up, but now the rotor owns this.
They have all really, as a class, all of them have stepped up so far to the point where they're challenging their French rivals. I mean, there's some amazing sparkling wine in California.
You wonder why so many French companies are buying California property.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not dumb. They've been doing it for a couple of 100 years. They figured it out. So we're going to be giving the Scharffenberger Blanc de Blanc a well-deserved 4 sips.
That's classified.
So that takes us to our next house of sparkling wine. We're going to have Harm tell us about that.
Thanks, Bob. Pierre Nicolas Perrier and Rose Adelaide Jouet. So Perrier Jouet. We were saying Jouet earlier. Let me address that. There's an umlaut over the E. You have to pronounce the T. They shared a love of nature and the arts. She was the daughter of a Norman Calvados producer, and he was an Epernay-based cork supplier, vintner, and botanist. A year after their wedding in 1811, the year of the comet, they founded Maison Perrier Jouet. Shipments to Great Britain began in 1815 and to the United States in 1837. Their son, Charles Perrier, a botanist like his father, took over the house in 1848. And in 1858, Eugene Gallice and Charles Perrier's brother-in-law became a partner in Perrier Jouet. In 1878, Eugene's son, Louis Adolphe Octave Gallice, and his brother Henri inherited the company. And in Paris, they during that period of Belle Epoque, the start of the 20th century, the Octave meant Émile Gallet, one of the pioneers of Art Nouveau movement, and commissioned him to design a bottle for Perrier Jouet. The 4 magnums featured a spray of Japanese white anemones, were delivered in 1902, and the design became an emblem of the house. You've all seen that beautiful hand-painted bottle.
Unfortunately, we don't have one today, but yeah, that's
what we're drinking today.
That is so. I mean, everybody knows that bottle.
That's how I brought in the Millennium.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Good stuff. So we're drinking their base wine, and this is the Perrier Jouet
base wine, like it's okay.
Actually, we're not drinking their base wine first. I think we're drinking the
Grand Brut.
The Grand Brut next. This is the Blanc de Blancs, but this is not their vintage Blanc de Blanc. The vintage Blanc de Blanc is way, way above this. We're drinking the non-vintage 12.5% ABV, 100% Chardonnay, dosage of 8 grams per liter of sugar. Up to 15% of the wines are reserve wines aged for at least 3 years on the lees. It's a pale gold. The nose, tons of flowers. Flowers, like I can't identify them. I mean, there's acacia there. There's honeysuckle there, I guess. But I get a lot of citrus on the nose. That lemon curd we heard earlier. But here, to me, it's still more like the lemon peel. Lemon peel and orange peel. A little bit of orange marmalade on the nose. On the palate, it's so minerally and fresh. Very mellow. Tons of good golden apple. A little bit of sweet lemon and orange, and then but soft and slightly salty. Medium long finish, but it's not my favorite Blanc de Blancs because I'm spoiled because I've had the vintage stuff.
Yeah.
Maury, what did you think on this one?
You know, as much as I hate to admit it, Harm, I think you're right all the way around. For me, this was a bit of a citrus bomb. I found it to be fairly citrusy and a little less, a little more one note than some of the other offerings we've had. I found there was some nice minerality. There's definitely a hint of brioche there. I agree with you on the nose with the floral nature, the color, again, super light, finished medium. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's delicious. I would definitely not pour it out. Very well made. And definitely, you could sit and drink this all day and all night. Justin.
So on the nose, I found it was very floral, a little bit fishy, and I got scallions.
I don't know what's going on with you.
Wash your hands?
Yeah. On the palate, it was like...
I'm thinking he had sushi before he came here.
Nah.
I don't want to know what he's been doing before
I had a banana. And the palate, it was like LaCroix lemon, and the finish was lemony.
It's not that lemony like LaCroix. Come on, man. It's got a great citrus note.
It's very citrusy.
There's other like those floral notes are really balancing it out. Bob, what do you think?
I think it's delicious. I think they did a very good job. I mean, on my note, I'm on the nose. I'm getting a lot of flowers, mostly like white honeysuckle.
There's a hint of pear there coming now.
There's definitely pear there. There's pear. It's more of an overripe pear.
Yeah.
Once they get soft and sticky.
But it's not as sweet.
No.
It's not the acidity is coming out from that citrus note.
The minerality on this is really it's really excellent. I enjoy the minerality. The salinity comes through. It's got a beautiful color on it.
I want oysters again. I just
say-
think I'm craving oysters today.
You got oyster crackers.
Medium
I've got oyster
finish
crackers.
on
There
it.
you go. That should be your band name.
Yeah, absolutely lovely.
That would be prime rib incident. That's another story for another
Yeah,
day.
yeah. Prime rib. Yeah, we'll tell you all about that. Yeah, but
That's an off-the-air story.
Right.
absolutely wonderful champagne. So we're going to be giving the Perrier Jouet Blanc de Blanc a well-deserved 3 sips.
Interesting.
So that takes us to our next one. We're going to have Maury tell us about that one.
Thank you, Bob. The next wine will be the Perrier Jouet Grand Brut, non-vintage, 12.5% ABV. It is 20% Chardonnay, 40% Pinot Noir, and 40% Pinot Meunier. The dosage is 8 to 10 grams per liter, and it contains up to 15% of reserve wines. Now, of note here, as with the previous wine, this is aged for 3 years on the lees. We didn't hear anything from Scharffenberger about how long they leave their wines on the lees.
No, they did. So 2 years.
Did they?
Yep.
Okay.
The reserve wines tend to be 10 years, right? Or 7, something like that?
I don't really know if there's a set number, but nonetheless, aging on the lees is what's going to give that brioche, that yeast, that bready kind of nature to the wines. Anyway, this wine has a beautiful silvery gold, very light color in the glass. It's got beautiful aromas, and we'll be back.
Hey, and we're back, and we were discussing some lovely Perrier Jouet.
Jouet. It's Moet Chandon Perrier Jouet. You got an umlaut over the E. You pronounce the T. I was told by snotty French people. They know.
Were they really French people, or they were from Quebec?
No, these were French people from France. Actually,
Okay, they're not
champagne representatives.
Yeah, so they're not eating poutine. Okay,
So who came up with that cheese-eating surrender monkeys?
don't look at me.
Yeah,
Don't look at me.
it was a cheese-eating surrender monkey.
Yeah.
Okay, as we
So
were
finish
saying,
up, Maury.
on the nose, some delicate floral aromas. There's definitely some fresh fruit and hints of buttery brioche and vanilla. And again, my philosophy is that that's coming from the 3 years aging on the lees. On the palate, it's crisp, it's light. There's definitely a freshness and a crisp acidity. It's got a medium to long finish. I found this wine to be a really nice step up from the previous wine. There was nothing
Which
wrong.
is surprising because usually the Blanc de Blancs is something
better.
I prefer more.
I agree with you. I said that earlier. The Blanc de Blanc is usually a step up. But in this particular case, today at this table, the Grand Brut just hits my palate a little nicer than the Blanc de Blanc. Harm, you want to elaborate on that?
There's nothing to elaborate. You said it right. We've got 3 more wines after this. I'll keep it short. Delicate floral aromas. The brioche is there. It's just more generous. It's more. It's got a longer finish, much longer finish than the Blanc de Blancs, which is crazy. And it's just a better balanced wine. I really enjoyed this one.
That just goes to show you got a taste.
It's less expensive than the Blanc de Blanc. It's really wonderful. Justin?
So right off the bat, I got some weird notes.
Why I expected that.
Iron magnet shavings, light iodine, and fresh biscuits. But that all faded off.
At least the fish went away.
The fish went away.
It's coming back. Don't worry.
It all faded off, and now it's just, light floral.
I'm going to take my wife to get some oysters now. As soon as I leave here, I'm out of here.
Where?
10 fish down the street.
Shuck
Right
and
down the
dive.
street. Yeah.
Shuck and dive.
I do like Shuck and Dive. I haven't been there in eons.
Two blocks down the street.
Yeah, but Shuck and Dive, the oysters are so good. Here, go on, Justin.
Yeah.
So, then it just became like normal after a half hour in the glass. So pour it cold, but leave it alone for a half hour. You're going to get some weird notes. Reminds me of, third grade again.
All right. Well, we are going to give the Perrier Jouet Grand Brut a well-deserved 4 sips.
Yeah, it's surprising. It was just really outclassed.
I raised it. Yeah,
I was, maybe the bottle was off. Maybe maybe Perrier Jouet should send us another bottle of the Blanc de Blanc.
Usually the Blanc de Blanc is my jam, but
yeah,
the Brut definitely has it this time. So we're going to
outclassed it.
Let's have Justin tell us about our next one from Perrier Jouet.
So we're going to talk about
Jouet.
Perrier Jouet Blaton Rosé.
Blason.
Ouais. Non-vintage, 12.5% alcohol by volume. It's 25% Chardonnay, 50% Pinot Noir, 25% Pinot Meunier. Dosage was 8 to 10 grams per liter, and it's up to 15% reserve wines, aged for 3 years on the lease. 10 to 15% Pinot Noir wine is added for color. The color of this was salmon pink.
I got more berry than salmon, but you're close.
On the nose, it was like a bouquet of like zesty fruits and just a little bit of pomegranate.
Pour
on
some
the
more of that.
palate. It was like a little party in my mouth. It, finished really nicely. It was like fruity, kind of reminded me of a carbonated Capri Sun. And,
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. It's so fruity.
yeah.
But, you know what? What's that?
Fruit juicy.
What's that bouquet of those bouquets where they send you like fruit on sticks? What's that called?
Edible arrangements.
Edible. Yeah, this smell like
Yeah.
that.
Fruit flowers.
Yeah.
The finish for me was all mid and back palate, but it was sweet and pleasant.
I found the finish to be a little bit short. That was the only thing I wanted more on the finish. It just sort of stopped.
You just drink more.
Then you buy the vintage champagne. Spend $400 on it instead of.
Well,
50.
I agree.
You hacked it.
Hint. I think that these wines showed beautifully, but I'm hopeful that next year, the folks at Perrier Jouet will supply us with some of their vintage selections to review. But I thought these for non-vintage champagnes and sparkling wines, again, the French are champagnes, are fantastic and showed extremely well. And I would agree with you, Harm. The vintage ones, you pay a big upcharge, but you will definitely get an improvement in quality. But it's a lot more dollar to get that raise in quality.
It's not, but there's a thing. They have vintage champagne and they have tête de cuvée. Tête de cuvée is their higher end, their special
That's when
reserve.
the money goes crazy.
That's where the money goes crazy. You can buy vintage like Veuve Clicquot for $100, whereas the Grand Dame will be $2 to $3.
You can buy vintage Perrier Jouet for a certain price, but the flower bottle costs you more money.
Yeah.
The
hand painted flower bottle.
The tête de cuvée is always going to be more expensive, and that's just how it is. Deal with it. Yeah.
But they make less.
But honestly, their non-vintage is fantastic.
But they're not. That's my point.
No,
They're non-vintage is value priced.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of bang for your buck, and you got to
the
pay a
Blason
lot
Rosé
more.
this year is so much better than previous releases.
Right, but you have to pay a lot more to get a little step up in quality when you go to Tête de Cuvée.
But the flower bottle will give you the fishy notes on the next show.
It will not be fishy. I have no idea what's wrong with you today.
Well, we're going to give the Perrier Jouet Blason Rosé a well-deserved 4 sips. This
That's
is
classified.
absolutely delicious, guys. So this brings us to our next champagne house. So it's founded in 1760 by Francois Delamotte. Lanson is the 4th oldest champagne house. In 1798, Francois was succeeded by his son, Nicolas Louis, who then partnered with Jean-Baptiste Lanson, who gave the house the Lanson name. On December 4th, 1900, Maison Lanson received the royal warrant from the Queen Victoria. So, it's got to be pretty good, because if there's anyone who loves champagne, it's definitely the British.
Vicky?
The British love champagne.
No, Vicky, who ruled India. The British
Champagne
rose.
and
She knows champagne and rubies and diamonds.
So, Lanson also supplies champagne to the royal courts of Sweden and Spain. Maison Lanson has been the official champagne and partner of Wimbledon in 2001 and forward, serving over 150,000 glasses of Lanson champagne each year at the championships. The house remained family-owned up until 1980 and has been owned by the Lanson BCC Group since 2006. Hervé Danton, the current cellar master, joined the house in 2013.
Every time I see the name Hervé, I think Hervé Villechaize. The plane! Boss, the plane!
Boss, it is awesome, yeah. So what we have here is the Lanson Le Green Bioorganic. This is a non-vintage, 12.5% ABV, 46% Pinot Noir, 36% Chardonnay, and 18% Pinot Meunier. Aged 4 years, the dosage is 6 grams per liter, no malolactic fermentation. This is the first champagne to carry the organic certification that allows it to state made with organic grapes on the label in the USA. The Le Green Bioorganic is exclusively made from grapes from the Malmaison estate, a 16-hectare pilot vineyard.
Plot. Pilot, not plot. The plot, not pilot.
That's what I said, pilot, yeah.
It's a 16-hectare plot. Oh, pilot vineyard. Jeez.
Yeah, pilot vineyard, yeah.
The 16-hectare pilots barely fit the plane.
Situated in the heart of the Valley de Marne.
We've been drinking.
The Valley Marne. So it constitutes one of the largest biodynamically farmed estates in Champagne and demonstrates Maison Lanson's commitment to sustainable viticulture. So it's got a beautiful color to it, just like a straw golden color to it.
The nose. Wow.
It's really come forward since it's warmed up. On the nose, the black currants are leaping forward. Definitely the pears are there. There's a citrus. There's like a bitter orange and a lemon. And a really nice minerality to it. And on the palate, on the palate, the minerality definitely jumps forward. There's a nice salinity to it. There's definitely a citrus, a Myers lemon. The salinity comes forward again. A little bit of a tropical fruit note underneath the salinity.
I was wondering when you were going to mention that tropical fruit because I got a lot of it.
Yeah, it didn't come forward when we first opened it because it was blistering cold, but now that it's warmed up.
By the time I got to it, I was taking my time, so I got it earlier on.
Yeah, there's definitely a tropical fruit there. What'd you think, Harm?
That tropical fruit is lychee, my friend. Lychee and mango. So
I think you're dead on with that. It's definitely lychee.
It's beautiful black currant, like you said, but I didn't get the black currant earlier on, but it was colder.
Yeah.
Now, lychee, and I got toast and pear notes. Lots of pear, a little bit of peach, and the minerality you kept coming back to, I agree with. And I get, especially when it's colder, but now even still there, toasted cumin. Lightly toasted cumin. Like I remember, I know my mom, when she makes her own garam masala at home, she'll toast the spices. This is toasted cumin. And a little bit of like star anise.
He's not far off on that.
Yeah.
Toasted cumin, toasted star anise.
It's not overwhelming,
pear,
but it's
plum,
definitely an
lychee,
undercurrent.
Salt, the spices. It's got a long finish, which we've been missing in the earlier wines. This is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Justin?
On the nose, I got smoked Wheaties.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either.
It's a wheat-based cereal.
I know what Wheaties are. What are smoked Wheaties?
Put it on the smoker for about a half hour. I did.
You're such a weirdo.
You smoke everything just for the hell of it, see what happens.
I think you've been smoking something else.
Yeah.
And then on the palate, I got like fruit and cream of wheat, different cereal.
I don't get the cream of wheat note, but I kind of see where you're saying.
Kind of goes to the finish.
Oh, yeah, there's something there.
And then it ends with orange zest after the cream of wheat note.
Okay.
I enjoyed it very, very much.
What'd you think, Maury?
I'd like to say that to me, this is the wine that was the most transforming throughout the morning. When this wine was straight out of the bottle, I really was It was closed.
It was
you weren't a
tight.
fan.
It was weird.
It was very cold. It was very one note.
It was green.
It was green.
Yeah.
It was just
Once it warmed up, wow.
not really very pleasant. So
Yeah.
I would say do not drink this wine too cold. Do not rush it. Be patient, and you'll be rewarded with really interesting stuff. So while I initially gave it a very low rating and it came up, I think as we've been tasting this wine,
this
it's
was the most
improving.
divisive wine. Some people gave very high ratings, and Maury gave a very low rating. I was kind of in the middle, but it's come up.
Well, I got to try this in New York at the Wine Spectators big event, and I was very interested in it, and it was not blistering cold like when we first opened it. So this one is absolutely changed. So we're going to give the Lanson Le Green Bioorganic a well-deserved 4 sips.
That's classified.
So let's have Harm tell us about our last one.
Okay, thanks, Bob. I'll be quick. We're running out of time, I think. So Lanson Le Vintage 2012, it's 12.5% ABV, 52% Pinot Noir, 48% Chardonnay, 10 years of aging. The dosage is 7 grams per liter. It's a brut exclusively made from Grand and Premier Cru. Verzenay, Ai Bouzy, I can't pronounce that next one, Merlot-Surai,
Yeah, my friend sucks. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Verzy, Avise,
Please forgive us.
Cremant, Le Mencil sur Roger. That's where Salon is made. Yeah, that's good stuff. Trapale. I never heard of Trapale. Yellow color. It had some nice bubbles. Not like some of these were the bubbles have gone away by now, but this is that spice I got on the previous one is all there. Candied fruit, almond notes. Those toasted spices on the nose and on the palate. This is the most distinctive one of all of the night. Beautiful texture, great acidity. That's got. I don't think they say anything about. They don't say anything about. What do you call malolactic fermentation? But this got 10 years of aging, so there's a creamy texture from the oak, and it's just a beautiful, well integrated wine with full of brioche and fruit and toasted spice. I get all those spices coming out. Tell me, what weirdness did you taste, Justin?
So I got dried fruits on the nose and those little shrimp in the fried rice, the dried ones. And the palate was intense, clean, fruity. I got blueberries in the beginning. Those faded off. And the finish was like cream of wheat with like lemon preserves.
We got a lot of cream of wheat today. Maury?
Well, he's still thinking about breakfast.
Yeah.
I love this wine. I thought it was my favorite of the morning. Very nicely done. It had a little bit more color. I would say the last wine was almost colorless. This one had a nice little hint of gold. I agree with everything you've said about the palate. I love the hints of almonds on the nose, the apricots, and I was referring to Harm, not you. But thank you for taking credit. I love the mouthfeel. I love the palate. It's got some nice viscosity. It's got a long finish. To me, this is everything I want in a champagne. I love vintage champagne. I love the fact that it's been aged 10 years on the lees. It just gives a dimensionality that I just really enjoy.
It gives it that backbone that you don't get with most other champagne.
Correct.
That's the thing. And
Can't get it less
Lanson has
time.
always been a favorite house of mine. I don't know why, but it was one that always sort of sang to me. This one is absolutely delicious. And we're going to give the Lanson Le Vintage 2012 a well-deserved 5 sips.
Oh my goodness!
That went up from our original rating.
Yeah.
Our original rating wasn't this good. As it warmed up, it just
Once
got
it warmed
so
up,
better.
it
Both
just,
the Lansons came up. So again,
Yeah.
temperature and time is the mantra.
And again, we try them blistering cold because that's how most people do it. So
I hate spitting,
And we
but
can
I have
allow
do
them
it
to
on
warm
show.
up. And
Yeah.
we can't cool them down in the middle of the show.
yeah, we've got all afternoon. So it is what it is. But in any event, so thanks for joining us. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Maury.
Thank you, Bob. Another bubbly day in the basement. Can't complain. Thank you.
And thank you, Harm.
You know, I would thank you, Bob, but I've got a big bill coming for I take my wife to dinner tonight. Thanks for putting oysters in my head. Was it you or Justin with the fish? I think
me.
you know what? The fish, but the champagne. I want some oysters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the sparkling wine,
Yeah.
please. Oh, delicious.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you're listening to us online, do yourself a favor and tap
Tap it in.
the subscribe button.
Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
The easiest way to listen to our show is to ask Siri, Alexa, Google, Uncle Larry, or whoever it is that talks to you on your phone. Play podcast Sip, Suds, and Smokes. We love your feedback, and you can reach us at info@sipsudsandsmokes.com. Our tasting notes flow out on Twitter and Instagram with our handle @SipSudsAndSmokes, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. You'll also be able to interact with the thousands,
Millions and millions.
of other fans on those social media platforms. Do us a favor. Take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. Come back, join us for another episode, and keep on sipping.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.